Next, a special tribute to one of our Tennessee Crossroads founders, Al Voecks. Al, who's happily retired now, enjoyed a career in both radio and television, and recently he was inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. Well, right now we're going to share some of the induction celebration and the legacy of our Crossroads compadre. Albert Edward Voecks launched his broadcasting career at a station in Sioux City, Iowa. When he left for military duty a few years later, his on-air successor was another guy who had hit the big time.
I actually got my first job in television because somebody who became, I think, pretty prominent here in radio, a man by the name of Al Voecks.
Sure.
He was working in Sioux City, Iowa, and he went in the Air Force, and it was Al's job that I took.
Al's still here in town.
Is that right?
He's not on the radio anymore, but he'll be thrilled to hear that.
Well, if you see him, tell him I'm still grateful.
Next stop, Nashville, and WSM, where Al would first wear several on-air hats. As a broadcast journalist, he interviewed entertainers, prominent politicians.
Mr. President, I'm Al Voecks, WSM, Nashville, Tennessee. I'd like to follow up a question which a gentleman from Phoenix, Arizona asked.
And even a president's famous brother. At WSM Radio, Al worked side by side with another Hall of Fame inductee, Pat Sajak.
So I walk in today, and I'm greeted by a guy who looks remarkably like Al Voecks. Now, Al and I worked together, you know, in the late 1800s, and what a terrible thing. The first words out of my mouth was, "I expected you to be old and decrepit."
You actually greeted him with that?
I did. Is that terrible?
You did.
Is that, no, I meant that as it was sort of a
Well, I told him 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
The Big 98, WSIX FM, Nashville.
Later on, he joined the highly rated House Foundation on the Big 98 WSIX. In 1987, Al was recruited to join the team of a new Nashville TV show. And on the premiere of Tennessee Crossroads in October of that year, Al appeared in his pajamas.
They call it the World Championship Bed Race. The object is to take a bed with 5 people.
For the next 17 years, wearing more conventional attire, Al was on-air producer for a variety of stories, some that profiled unique Tennessee craftsmen.
All I know is I just always have made something.
The old country store just adds to the ambiance that...
Like all of us, Al likes to eat, and he was highly skilled at finding off-the-main-road diners.
Number 1.
Al's commanding yet affable style was a key ingredient in the Crossroads mix of personalities and storytelling styles.
And they actually work.
Everybody needs a cat.
Man has always been fascinated by caves.
He left our show in 2004 and later retired from broadcasting entirely. However, his 50-year legacy includes numerous milestones and honors, such as the Tennessee Broadcaster of the Year Award. Recently, Al and 5 other accomplished broadcast veterans were inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. He and his wife Marcy mingled with old friends from TV and radio.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's an honor to be with you.
No, it's an honor, man. Later, it was showtime inside a packed ceremony ballroom. Fellow inductee Keith Bilbrey and Nan Kelly were MCs.
Thank you. I look out at this group, and I think it's amazing, these people. You know, radio people, most of them look like Larry King, but this is a pretty good-looking bunch, you know?
Before his introduction, a video bio of Al featured congratulations from people like Sajak.
But what I admired most was, with all that silly stuff going on, he never lost sight of the fact that he was there to do the news. And somehow he managed to pull off that balance brilliantly. I've always wanted his voice, frankly. It really annoys me that he has it and I have this one.
And his last partner in radio crime, Jerry House.
Al, baby, how you doing? It's me, Jerry, and you know, I didn't really prepare anything spectacular because all the spectacularity is with you tonight, pal. You're in the Radio Hall of Fame, and congratulations.
We now proudly welcome Big Al Voecks to the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah!
On stage, the gracious honoree was quick to credit his Nashville co-workers throughout the years.
For everybody else who either worked with me or for me or whatever, you share this honor. This is not only mine, this is yours. Because it doesn't take a whole lot of talent to pick up a script and read a newscast. It takes a lot of talent for a dedicated staff to put that newscast together. I can't let it go by without saying that TV plays a whole part of all of this, and Tennessee Crossroads meant so much to me, and Joe Elmore is here, and Jim DeMarco is here tonight. I thank you for putting up with me for 17 years. So anyway, and all you people, this was a vote by you, and I thank you all. I appreciate it, and I'm very humbled, and I hope to represent the Hall of Fame. So thank you very much.
Well, once again, congratulations.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
And welcome home.
Well, thank you. It is good to be home. It's been a while since I've been in this studio. So.
It has been, and way too long, I must say. Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame, that's a pretty big deal.
I hope to live up to the expectations which are expected. I don't know, but yeah, it's a good, yeah, I'm very honored to have been part of it.
Well, you've done that already. You know, we didn't show all of the video that was shown at the ceremony because, well, we didn't have time. We wanted to have time
First
to
of all,
talk
you
a little
want to
bit.
hear it all anyway. So.
Anyway, there was a clip of Mike Bohan, I think, at your house, telling you, looked like it was early in the morning, you had your robe on or what? No,
Well,
a
no,
sweater
it wasn't
on.
a robe.
It was
but-
a sweater.
Yeah, it was a sweater. But yeah, they came out, and I knew I had been nominated. I was up for, you know. But I didn't know that I had been elected until he told me that. And that was a surprise.
And you were noticeably surprised.
Yeah, I was. I mean, first of all, I don't think I deserved it, but anyway.
No, come on.
Hey, I do want to say one thing, though, in case there's some of my Army buddies who might be watching it right now. Tom Brokaw made the mention I went to the Air Force. I do want to correct that, even though, you know, the Air Force is fine. But I was in the Army, and there are people out there who say, hey, Vex was in the Army, how come you say the Air Force? But that's the only, that was a little error he made. But that's all right, Tom.
That's the only mistake Tom has made, I'm sure.
That's probably right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm proud of you. And
thank you.
I got to ask you, how do you get in the Hall of Fame? And did somebody nominate you, and there's a list of candidates?
Yeah, I mean, you are... there are about 15 people who are nominated, brought before the board of directors of the Hall of Fame. And then the people in the hall who've already, you know, who belong to the Hall of Fame, and that whole organization then votes on, they narrow it down to 6 people. And I was one of the 6. So.
Awesome. Well,
joined a host of great talent.
All of us, you know, associate your name with broadcasting. They're synonymous. But when did you decide, growing up in the Midwest up there, and what was the name of that town? And
I went to Waverly, Iowa.
Waverly.
Yeah. Then I went to Sioux City, and I went to Iowa City for.
When did you decide that you wanted to be in front of a microphone?
You don't want to hear that
Come
story.
on, man.
My mother wanted me the next Supreme Court. I should be the next Supreme Court Justice of the United States.
Okay.
And so I went to law. You know, I was going to law school, and I hated every minute of it.
You did go to law school?
Well, I didn't go to law school. My freshman year, I was taking all this pre-law stuff. And then I got the sophomore year, and I was still involved in it, and I really didn't care for it very much. And a fraternity brother of mine by the name of John Voight was at that time in speech and dramatic arts, which there was no radio, I mean, there was no television and radio at that time. We're talking back in the late 50s, which is long before you were born, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And he needed a narrator for one of his projects.
Okay.
And he asked me if I'd do it. And I went down to the studio and I did it, and I was hooked. And I told my mother, if you want me to be a lawyer, go someplace else, because I'm going to do this. And that was 50 years ago, and great time in this business.
Never thought about, well, what if I'd taken my mom's advice and gone on to be an attorney? Never thought about it. Never turned back.
Because very frankly, the last 28 years in this business, I was associated with one of the greatest talents that this industry has had, and that's Jerry House. And to be able to get up in the morning and enjoy going to work. Not many people can say that.
Yeah.
But you got up, and I actually looked forward to going to work because it was going to be fun. Jerry and Mike and Richard and the whole group and all that. And even if it meant 3 a.m., 3 a.m., it was still, Well, kind of worth it, but, you know, but it was great. For 28 years, a guy couldn't have a better exit of this industry than those 28 years.
Well, no doubt that's your favorite radio job then.
Oh gosh, yeah. That was good.
I got to ask also, Al, you got this great radio, this mellifluous voice. Yeah. Like that word?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What does that mean?
I guess that would have been a great Supreme Court justice voice too.
Would have been. I'd have been pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, we've had a great time with Tennessee Crossroads. You know, you and I didn't get to go out and do the stories together, although a lot of people say we do. Oh, and by the way, I want to get this out of the way. Here he is. Stop asking me, where's Al Voecks? Still around? Did he move? Is he on vacation somewhere? You're here. And,
I'm here.
And you're having a great time.
I'm still in Nashville, and we still are around.
Aren't you going to come back and do stories, though?
Oh,
don't you?
Well, okay, I may.
Yeah.
I'll labor it.
You know, we got this marathon coming up next week, our Thanksgiving marathon we do, and it has a lot of our oldie but goodie shows coming on, and one of the ones that you did, I can't help but remember the name, the Bode Psaltery Maker.
Psalteries.
You know, I'd never heard of the instrument before, and I have never seen one since then.
I had never heard of it before then either, but down to the craft fair, every once in a while, he's still there with his Bode Psalteries.
That is awesome. And you got the Tomato War story that you did some time ago. It's going to be fun watching those.
It'll be fun.
Are you going to watch?
Marathon. You betcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there. Well, let me say something here before, because we're going to wrap up here in a minute.
We are supposed to wrap.
But you know, I remember in April of 1987, you and me, Jerry Thompson and Susan Thomas, and the people of Channel 8 all got together in conference room and came up with this idea of doing something in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And we kind of kicked things around a little bit. The first show aired in October. Since that time, a lot of people, we're called producers, a lot of people have gone through the Tennessee Crossroads doors, except there has been one steady person, and that's you. And I applaud you for that. I think you are the face, you are Tennessee Crossroads, and for that, I think everybody should applaud you, because you're here, you're steady, and you keep the show going. And you didn't think you'd be here 30 years from now.
No.
I mean, 30 years ago.
No.
And you're still here, and we appreciate that.
That's
and one other
amazing.
thing I do want to
Thank
say. As producers, we all needed a director.
Yep.
To make, you know what the director does? The director makes you look good.
With no credit.
With no credit.
Yeah.
So I want to give credit to a person that I was hooked up with 1987 for 17 years. We didn't know each other at the time, but we became good friends, and we are still good friends. And he was responsible for putting together that piece. And I want Ken Symington to come out here and share this spotlight.
You know, I still get to hang out with him.
You, my friend,
Thank you.
are one of the best. You made every show I did look good.
I appreciate it. Well, working with you was easy.
And you, my friend,
you're the best.
Hope you're around 30 years from now.
I do too, thanks. We'll do it, won't we?
We will, we will. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. And let me say this. One of the greatest icons of this industry would close off his show with this, and Red Skelton would say, good night and God bless.